Today we are here to talk about the pros and cons to living in Wildomar, California. I want to give you the good and the bad about living here, help you make an honest decision on is this the right place for you. So I'm going to give you the harsh truth and the shiny good stuff about this area, let you know all that you need to about Wildomar, California. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, your local Temecula Valley realtor, and this channel is dedicated to all things living in the Temecula Valley, from new construction tours to neighborhood spotlights to new things coming here to the valley. I want you and your family to know exactly what it's like living here before you make the move. Let's get to it. All right, like I said, we are here to break down the pros and the cons to living in Wildomar, California. I think it's a place that a lot of people love to call home, but I want to help you make that decision. So let's start off with the pros to living here in Wildomar. Pro number one is the housing affordability here in Wildomar. And so the average price home right now in Wildomar being just above $600,000. That is actually significantly cheaper than surrounding areas, surrounding cities here around Wildomar. So you're gonna spend $100,000 more if you're going to Murrieta, which is neighboring to Wildomar, and about $200,000 more if you're gonna get yourself into Temecula. So if you're looking for bang for your buck, Wildomar offers that with much more affordable homes. And Wildomar's, a little bit newer. There are some homes that have been here 30 plus years, but basically all the new construction that's happened here over the recent years, you've got homes built within the last 10 to 15 years. So some of those are gonna have a little bit more modern feel than you may get also compared to some other areas here in the Temecula Valley. Pro number two is small town feel. So you've heard me say that on other videos here in our channel, and I say it feels like a small town even though there's 100,000 plus population. That's not the case with Wildomar. Wildomar is just over 37,000 people right now in population, and so it truly is a Southern California small town. Sandwiched in between cities with populations up over 100,000, but Wildomar itself really remains a small town, close-knit community. Everybody knows everybody because of the limited number of residents in the area. Locals actually would say that Wildomar feels down to earth, family friendly, community focused, and that really just stems from being the actual small town that it is. Pro number three is the multiple outdoor activities. So if you live in Wildomar, it offers a lot for you in terms of things to do outdoors. So it is very close to the Santa Rosa Plateau, which offers hiking and biking trails and lots to do out there, miles and miles of trails to explore. So if you enjoy hiking, you've got some options there. You're really close to Lake Elsinore, which is a neighboring city to Wildomar. So you've got a lake that you can go out and visit. You can do fishing and boating, and you can camp out there. So there's things to do there. You've got the mountains not too far away. You've got the beach about an hour away. And if you're looking to stay even somewhat local and still spend a little bit of time outdoors, then you can go visit some of the wineries in nearby Temecula, just 20-25 minutes away from you in Wildomar. So it encourages a lot of outdoor activity. So if you love to spend time outdoors, Wildomar is a great place for you. Pro number four is that Wildomar is a very business-friendly city. They've got streamlined processes for permitting and all sorts of programs to bring businesses into the community. Now, Wildomar as a whole is not looking to commercialize itself like Murrieta, Temecula, other big cities here in the area. They're not looking to have all of the retail shops that you might see in some of those areas. So, as of right now, you're not seeing a Home Depot and a Lowe's and a Target and all of that inside of Wildomar. They've kind of pushed back on some of that because they want to keep the smaller town feel and not just over commercialize it. But if you're a small business owner, they are super friendly to getting you here into the area and want to make things easy on you. So there are incentives that you can take advantage of as a business owner coming to Wildomar. So if you're curious about any of that, reach out to myself and my team and we can get you some information there as well. But it is really great to see a pro-business community that isn't just looking to sell out to the big chains that are going to come out and squash everybody's business. They want local small business owners doing their thing, earning an income in the area, and really loving where they live. For number 5, it's a super demographically balanced community. So basically everything comes out pretty even across the board. It's got a high ownership rate, home ownership rate inside of the city, which is great. You've got over 75% of the residents in Wildomar that own their own home, which is great. Only leaves about 25% of renters. You've got a good mix of young families all the way to retirees in the community. Those numbers are about 50-50. If we look at ethnicity, those numbers are spread equally across the community. And all of those numbers come from niche.com. You can go check them out. So it's pretty just a demographically even across the board community, which makes it fun. It's not just one certain type of person that fits the demographic there. It's unique and basically attracts all different types of people. Now let's move on to some of the cons. This is where we get into some things that you may want to consider before you actually make the move to Wildomar. So con number 1 is going to be the lagging school system. Lagging in scores. So behind on scores compared to neighboring cities like Murrieta and Temecula. Temecula is what comes to mind when everybody looks at top tier schools. Murrieta a very, very close second. And then Wildomar running pretty far behind. There's actually a significant gap in the scores for schools in Wildomar versus Murrieta and Temecula. So that's something that you want to weigh out. We use greatschools.org to evaluate school systems. So we're not just arbitrarily saying that. There are some grades built upon that. And so Murrieta, Temecula consistently ranking 2 to 3 points higher in each of their schools than most of the schools in Wildomar. Now, within Wildomar, it doesn't have its own school system. It uses Lake Elsinore Unified School District for the schools. And so, again, a little bit lower test scores there and probably something that's going to remain for some time. A lot of times I say that about, Menifee is another city here in our area that comes with a little bit lower school scores, but with the growth and the explosion that Menifee is seeing right now, all the tax dollars are going in, it's probably going to boost those scores over time as more tax dollars go into the school system. Right now, Wildomar is slow growing and slow on that tax revenue side, so I think those schools are going to remain in that area for a little bit of time. Now, 10, 15 years from now, maybe that's a different story, but I do think that if you're moving here with kids right now, you're probably gonna be looking at some of those lower test scores, those lower ranked schools for quite some time, maybe even their entire school career before they improve. Con number 2 is limited local amenities. So I told you already that one of the pros was they're not sellouts to all of the big chains and all of the stores that are gonna come in and squash small businesses. But because of that, it means there's not a lot of dining and retail options within Wildomar. You do have some really fun locally owned businesses to choose from when it comes to some dining and entertainment, but most often you're going to be traveling outside of the city to go explore and have what you want. So a lot of residents in Wildomar are going to head and spend most of their time when it goes to going out in Murrieta or Temecula. And then if you're looking for more of a much more adventurous type night out, then you're probably going down into San Diego or into Orange County, which are each both about an hour away from Wildomar. So just some things to keep in mind there. Limited local amenities. You're probably going to spend a little bit more time outside of the city. Unless you just prefer to be home all the time, then Wildomar's a really great option. Con number 3 is going to be the traffic and commute times. So traffic within Wildomar itself on the side streets, not a big deal. You've got 37,000 people that live there right now. There's just not a lot of cars on the road. But the main freeway that runs through Wildomar is the 15 freeway. That's going to take you north into Orange County and up into LA, or south down into San Diego area. And so that one freeway gets pretty jam-packed. And if you're living in Wildomar, maybe you're lucky enough to be one of the small business owners in the area and you've got a local job. or maybe you're in healthcare or fire and you've got some sort of local job. But outside of that, you're probably going to be a commuter having to hop on the 15 freeway and get into San Diego, LA, Orange County, maybe Riverside for some of those jobs. Now, the average commute time, according to statistics, is 38 minutes. I'm not really buying that if people are commuting down to San Diego. You're talking an hour plus. Same thing for LA, Orange County, well over an hour to get into some of those areas. So again, the average says 38 minutes. I don't know if that counts in some of the work from home people who have zero commute or what that is, but a little bit longer than that. You're probably going to expect about an hour if you're getting into any of the major areas outside of Wildomar, and that's something that you want to factor in before you live here. You may have to commute. You're going to get a bang for your buck as far as home price, but it may cost you in some of that drive to head out to work on a daily basis. Con number 4 is the inconsistent neighborhood quality. So Wildomar has remained very rural in some parts, and so you've got some homes that were built back in the 80s and the 90s, even some older stuff than that, but some of the smaller communities being built back in the 80s or 90s showing some signs of aging. And so you kind of feel that as you're driving through there. Now, there are new communities in Wildomar that are popping up here and there, not as explosive as some of the other areas like Murrieta or Menifee, but some of those new communities will be built in the 2000s. They're gonna have a nicer, newer feel. Now, Wildomar comes with a mix of, homes on property, some tract homes. There are some manufactured homes, and so some of those may, give a different feel. And so it's just kind of an inconsistent feel when driving through Wildomar. If you're driving through Murrieta or Temecula, it remains pretty consistent. Even though there's homes built in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, it all kind of remains consistent and feels like one consistent area. Wildomar is kind of just a pocket of, brand new homes right here, older manufactured homes right here, some custom homes on property over here with another tract home over here. And so it kind of just feels inconsistent overall. But again, bang for your buck, maybe that's an option for you. Con number 5 is that it's a small city, but starting to grow fast. So Wildomar has been stagnant in growth for a really, really long time, but it is starting to grow a bit faster. Surging home prices in Murrieta and Temecula are pushing people out and into some more affordable areas, and Wildomar is one of those options. So as those people get pushed into some of those areas, it's putting a strain on infrastructure in Wildomar that was really only built for about 30,000 people, and so we're starting to see some strain on some of that. Wildomar only has 4 parks. That's not going to support a population as it grows into the 50 to 60,000 mark, and those parks aren't very big. So just some strain on some infrastructure as far as on-ramps to the freeway, parks, some of those side roads. Again, it's not crazy packed with traffic, but it's limited. There's smaller roads and they're just not built for some of the growth that's likely to come to Wildomar here in the near future. So again, something to keep in mind that, maybe it functions well right now and you don't notice some of those hiccups currently, but as things grow, which they will, that is going to put some strain on that over time and probably cause some concern here in the near future. All right, guys, that is it for our pros and cons to living in Wildomar, California. It is a really cool small town feel with a super affordable price point for Southern California. So if you're looking for something a little more rural, a little more business friendly, small town population, Wildomar is it. If you are looking for something newer with lots of things to do and really great schools, Wildomar falls short in some of those areas. So hopefully this helps you decide and weigh out some of those pros and cons to decide if Wildomar is the right place for you. If you have any questions about moving to Wildomar, California, or the Temecula Valley or Southern California, feel free to reach out to myself and my team. That's why we make these videos. I want to give you at least the starting ideas of what it looks like living in different communities here, and then let's connect and actually have a conversation about whether it's right for you and answer some of those questions. So you can reach out to me, you can call, you can text, you can send an email, or you can schedule a one-on-one Zoom consultation. You can actually drop down into the description below, click the link, and that will take you directly to the calendar where you can schedule a one-on-one Zoom call. We'll discuss whether this is the right place for you. We'll answer any questions. No pressure on making a move, but I want to help you decide whether this is the right place for you to make the move. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I will see you guys next time.